Hey Precalc, this is a video answer key for the 2.5 worksheet. Feel free to fast forward to any part that you're interested in seeing. First question is about deaths of children from malaria. Not a very lovely topic. And then they give us a table, and in part A, they want us to write an exponential function to represent the data. So I'm just going to hop right into Desmos. So open Desmos, hit open graphing calculator, hit the plus sign, add a table, and then I'm just going to start typing in 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And then in our Y column, all right, and then I was just double check really quick to make sure those are all right. Looks good. And then go into a new line, and you're going to do Y1 tilde, little squiggly guy. So shift and then the button above tab. And then we're just going to do A, B, caret. So that's shift 6 to the X1. And we're good. They don't want us to do any plus C. So just like that. And then this is something that we didn't talk about yesterday, but if this log mode pops up, you want to click that. Otherwise, your numbers are going to be off a little. It's a long story about why you need to do that, but click that log mode. And then these are, I'm just going to screenshot here for my own sake. These are our A, B, and C's, or just A and B. We don't have a C on this one. Just going to grab that and put that over here. And then we can write our equation based on that. So this is dt equals 583.185 times 0.936 to the x, just like that. All right, and then based on our model, how many children under 5 years old are predicted to die from malaria in the year 2030? So the first thing is we have to figure out what year that is. So we're doing years since 2006. So I'm going to do 2030 minus 2006, and that's going to give us 24. So now we're doing D of 24, and then just plugging 24 in for X. So I'll go back to Desmos, and I don't know if it'll write, I don't think it'll write our model for us, so I'm gonna plop it in there. 5958 3.185 times 0.936. I'm going to type the whole thing in, 346, just to get a little bit more accurate, to the 24th, and we get approximately 120 children. We'll go with 120. All right, next problem. We have a new table. Again, I'm not going to read all the way through this because I don't want the video to be 8 hours long. But you can go ahead and read it. It's talking about MySpace followers. So I'm going to grab that table, put it into Desmos. All right. And then once you have your table in, go to a new line, do y1 tilde ab to the x1. and then click log mode. Otherwise, your numbers are going to be a little bit off. And then I'm just going to screenshot this so that I have it right in front of me. So you should come up with A is 31.6016 and B is right there. And then we can write our equation based on that. All right, and then after 20 months, we just need to plug 20 in for X. So we're just doing V of 20, and I'll save you the pain of watching all of that. Just plug 20 in to your equation, and you're going to have approximately 7.18 or 89. And these are daily visit. Oh, we're in millions, I think, though. Millions visitors. Okay. And then in part C here, it says let y equals ab to the t be an equivalent form of the model found in part A, where t represents the number of years since January 2009. Find the values of A and B. Okay, so the difference here is our original equation was based on months, and now we're writing a new equation, but this time we're using years. So the question is, how do we do that? But there are 12 months in 1 year. Okay, so if we're writing an equivalent function, then we have to use a fractional exponent. Okay, so now we're going to use our t is going to be however many months over 12. So a fraction of months out of the 12 possible months that are in a year. Okay, so that's the difference. So we don't really need to change anything with our A. We're still going to have the same starting value, but we're going to need a new B. Okay, so to do that, we have to remember originally that B is what we're multiplying by, right? And originally, we were multiplying every month. We were multiplying by whatever that number was, 0.928. So we were doing this every month. But now, we're writing a new model where we're seeing how much it grows every year. Well, that 0.98 is getting multiplied every single month, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. So 12 times that multiplier is happening within a year. So to get our new B for our new equation, we need to do 0.928. I'm going to do the whole thing so we don't have a rounding error, to the 12th power. Okay, so our new B, I already have this plugged into Desmos. Our new B is going to be 0.4089. I went 4 decimal places that time. Okay, so you just got to think about those ones. Figure out what's going on. Are you dividing by 12? Are you multiplying by 12? What's happening with your growth factor? And in that one, we didn't need to change A because we were starting with 0 months, which is exactly the same as 0 years. All right, number 3, we're talking about aliens or alien spacecrafts or something like that. So make sure you read the question, but they give us an exponential model. And then according to this model, how many people have seen the video after 2 hours? Okay, so seems super simple, like you're just going to plug 2 in. But if you go back to the equation that they gave us, M stands for minutes. Okay, so if we're going to use this exponential equation they gave us, we need to make sure we're using minutes and not hours. So the question is, how many minutes are there in 2 hours? Well, there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. So 2 times 60 equals 120 minutes in 2 hours. Okay, so that's what needs to get plugged into your equation. Okay, not 2, because we need minutes, 120 minutes in 2 hours. So I'll just give you the answer there. It should be approximately 4,670,683-ish people. We're not going to count any partial people. Okay, part B. So let B be, or let y equals this new equation. So it's an equivalent form of the function, except this time our exponent is s, and s represents the number of seconds since the videos were first posted online. And now we need to find this new value of b. So kind of like we had to do in the last question, we just have to ask ourselves, well, what's going on here? What are we doing? Well, we're changing from minutes to seconds. Okay, so 1 second is a 60th of a minute. Okay, so we could rewrite this s as s over 60. Well, m, I guess I should have pointed at this one. Minutes is a number of seconds over 60. Okay, so if we're going to rewrite our b, again, we don't need to mess with a. We're going to have the same starting value, but to find our b, we need to take that 1.07, okay, and raise it to the 1/60th. Not to the 60th this time, because we're going the other direction. Instead of going, I guess, to like a bigger unit, we're going to a smaller unit. Seconds are smaller than minutes. So instead of raising it to the 60th, we need to raise it to the 1/60th. Okay, so our new b is equal to 1.0011. Okay, so basically, if you're getting bigger, you're going to raise to like a bigger power, right? So if you're going from minutes to hours, you're going to raise to a whole number or bigger power. If you're going down, if your original model was in minutes and now we're going down to seconds, well, now we need to raise it to a smaller power, a fractional power. Okay, because we're not multiplying as quickly. We're multiplying a lot smaller. All right. Next question then. And the video is going to time out after 15 minutes, so try to finish this question up. So again, we have another table here. I'm going to pause while I get that into Desmos. All right, so there's everything punched into Desmos. Again, make sure you check the log mode, otherwise your numbers are going to be off a little bit. So A ends up being 3.3213 and B is 1.784. And then it actually looks like that's a perfect fit for that model. Our R-squared value is 1, so that's kind of nice. So let's go back here. So our model is y hat equals 3.321 times 1.784, and more decimals if you wish, to the x. And then we can go ahead and plug 5 in for x, and you should end up with about 60.0268. You could do less decimals if you desire. All right, that's that one. And then moving on to number 5, Mr. Passwater's making a TikTok, and it looks like his account is rapidly growing. And then his number of followers increases by 31.4% each week. Okay, so to figure out what our growth factor is, what our B is, we're going to start with 100%. We're going to add 31.4% to that since it's an increase. That gives us 131.4%. And then we got to slide our decimal back 2 spots since we're converting from a decimal or from a percent to a decimal. And we got 1.314.